Arguably the biggest reveal that we got in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie had to be Michael Afton, the one and only Michael Afton in the flesh in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 universe movie. But this had me thinking, what could he be doing in the FNAF 3 movie? We know FNAF 3 probably going to be announced very soon, but the inclusion of Michael Afton is going to be key in order to make sure we know exactly what's going on for the story. So let's talk about it. So the big surprise, Michael Afton's in the mix. They decided to make him canon. Michael Afton is in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie universe. Now again, we have Mike Schmidt and Michael Afton. Two very different characters, but we have the inclusion of Michael Afton. Now, knowing Scott and how well prepared he is when making the games, I'm pretty sure he had an idea what Michael Afton would be doing in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie franchise. I don't think he just threw Michael Afton out there and said, hey everyone, here's Michael Afton. No, it's 100% gonna connect. And there's a few ways it can connect. First of all, we know that in the games, Michael Afton is going pizzeria by pizzeria trying to avenge everything that his dad do. But in the movies, he's trying to be with his dad in the sense of like he wants to do everything his dad did. He's part of his dad, carrying his legacy. Is that going to continue in the movie universe? I don't think so. I think what will happen is when Springtrap comes back, going after everyone and really going to prove to everyone that he's the big and bad in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie universe, Michael Afton will switch. Like we saw in FNAF 6, we knew that we were playing as Michael Afton. Henry Emily decided to light the place on fire, and Michael Afton didn't try to escape. He knew there was a way to go escape, but he just wanted to end it as well as with Charlotte, with Michael Afton, with Springtrap, and with Elizabeth Afton. So I do think that's what's maybe going to happen with Michael Afton in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. I do think what he's going to do is he's going to be part of the sacrifice. He wants to end it all completely. He's going to want to be part of, Elizabeth and Vanessa and stuff like that, and the puppet and Charlotte and things like that. I do think Michael Afton, he's going to be a villain that eventually turns. I do think Michael Afton will turn for many reasons. First of all, I don't think his character in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2, it didn't build enough ground when it came to being like a true villain. Like we don't really know much about him unless you know about Michael Afton in the video game. He got knocked out at the end, but he escaped. As we know, he did escape because we saw the badge there on the ground. Since he escaped, they can do anything with him. They can say that he died in, I don't know, he died in a car crash, he died in anything. Every way they can do with him just because he's not there anymore, and he didn't really have an ending. He kind of just like ran away. Is he gonna go after Springtrap? No. They could possibly have a line in Sister Location where we saw, Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I'm gonna come find you. Maybe that's the opening scene of FNAF 3. Maybe we see Michael Afton running out of breath, and he goes to a stop sign, looks at the sign, and says, it's me, Michael. I'm gonna come find you. That would be kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie, man. That would be kind of hard seeing Michael Afton say, Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I'm gonna come find you. Like we saw in Sister Location. That would be absolutely amazing. And we see Springtrap get activated, start walking around Fazbear Frights the minute we see that happen. That would be pretty cool. The problem is there's a lot of lines that happen in Five Nights at Freddy's 5 and Five Nights at Freddy's 6 that are too iconic to leave out. You can't leave out the Henry Emily ending scene where he's burning the place down. You can't leave out Father, it's me, Michael. You can't leave out It's the Scooping Room. Now, do I think anyone's gonna get scooped in Five Nights at Freddy's 3? I don't think so. They haven't established a Sister Location. We saw Baby in there, but there's really nothing relating to Ennard or Ballora or Funtime Foxy or Freddy. Like, we haven't really seen any of that, so I don't think we're gonna get any sort of scooping room scene. That would be kind of cool if we do, but I don't think so. We see Michael Afton at the beginning of the movie say, it's me, Michael. I'm gonna come find you, Father. I'm gonna come find you. Maybe, you know what? Maybe Michael Afton's walking down the street and sees a newspaper that there's this animatronic, and he says, I'm gonna come find you, Father. We get the opening credit scene. Nah, 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 nah. You know how that went. That could possibly be something we see. I do think what's gonna happen though, Michael Afton will get avenged in the sense of he will burn the place down with Henry Emily and stay there. Maybe he helps out Abby at the end. Maybe he helps out Vanessa at the end. But I do think Michael Afton's key role is gonna be to turn into a hero. I do think he is gonna sacrifice himself, just like Vanessa's gonna sacrifice herself. Charlotte obviously will be burned down. Henry Emily will light the place on fire, but we know William Afton will be the main guy that does get burned if we're going up FNAF 6. Now, there's a lot of ways they can go. FNAF 3, William Afton survived the fire. Maybe at the end of FNAF 3, they have a post-credit scene of him surviving the fire. He goes to Fazbear Frights and stuff like that. Maybe at the end scene, we see Michael Afton finally at the end say, finding out this place burned down, and he says, Father, it's me, Michael. Maybe we see that at the end. The thing about that scene is that it either can be Michael's finding his father that burned down, or Michael's gonna go find his father at Fazbear Frights. There's a lot of ways they can go. What I mean by that is very simple. At the end of Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location, we see, Father, it's me, Michael. I'm gonna come find you. That was post the burning of Fazbear Frights. But maybe at the beginning of the movie, he's walking and he sees that his dad is alive. Maybe he sees that his dad is alive in Springtrap, and he says, I'm gonna come find you. I'm gonna come find you in the sense of at the beginning of the movie or at the end of the movie, he's gonna come find you, which then will lead into Sister Location, Five Nights at Freddy's 4, and all that stuff. I think there's a lot of ways they can go with Michael Afton. They kind of left him like ambiguous, like you really don't know what about. You don't know what's his main, obviously his main motive is to keep William Afton alive and stuff like that, but we don't really know exactly if he really feels like that. Obviously he did escape at the end. Is he gonna stay like that? Maybe not. Does he still have feelings for Elizabeth Afton? Again, we know that there has to be an Elizabeth Afton unless that's replaced by Vanessa. Vanessa is the one in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe movie. As we know, the daughter is Elizabeth Afton. We know Michael is the older brother and the crying child. Where's the crying Child. Brian Child exists? I really don't know. The good thing I know about Scott is that he will correct this. Everyone knows who's Michael, who's that Michael, who's Mike, who's Michael. Something's going to happen where he's going to recreate everything that happened. Like as we know, Scott loves to recreate everything that happened in the previous stuff to the next stuff. Five Nights at Freddy's 3, Five Nights at Freddy's 4, Five Nights at Freddy's 4, Five Nights at Freddy's 5. He likes to answer questions. So who's baby? I fully believe that those questions will be answered in the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 movie. That's what he does. That's what he's done for all the games. That's what he did for all that stuff. So his main role of doing that is going to be super key, but I do have full faith in Scott and the rest of the team there at Blumhouse. They're going to get it done. They're going to recorrect it. We're going to see the vicious Springtrap that's going to take place. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, man. I'm so excited to see Springtrap. Maybe we get a father versus son battle, or what I would prefer to happen is a Henry versus Springtrap battle. Henry Emily versus Springtrap, the two co-workers. That guy killed your daughter. Like, it's going to be absolutely fantastic to see in live action, man. I'm so hyped for Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Michael, baby, Garrett, everything back, man. It's going to be so exciting to see. But guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think Michael's role going to be? Do you think Michael's going to be the main villain? Do you think he's going to be the side villain? Do you think he's going to be William Afton's helper? Do you think he's going to help Henry Emily? Who do you think Michael's really going to help out in the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 movie, guys? But if you guys can, hit that like button, hit that sub button. We're posting new videos every single day where there's Five Nights at Freddy's, Mario, the Avengers, Sonic, anything out there, man. Let me know what you guys want to see next in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. Amen. I'll see you guys in the next video.